Tips for successful project execution. In addition to the above suggestions regarding processes, personal management, and communication, these additional tips will ensure your project execution phase is a success. Assign clear responsibilities and accountabilities to your team members. Explain the rationale and motivation behind your decisions to get a buy-in from your team. When you experience a setback, own up for your mistakes. Okay? Implement the course corrections as needed. You have to make sure that when there is a mistake, you own it up. And then you cover it with the client. You can play. See, in sight, right? It's like dancing. When you're doing execution, it's like dancing. You move according to how the project is moving or the site is moving. Get what I'm saying? All right, make project execution a priority. While executing your plan might sound like the easy part, considering all that work that went into the planning phase, the truth is that successfully finishing a complex project takes conscious, consistent effort. A work management platform can centralize all communication, collaboration, and project details into one intuitive space. So you can always see it at a glance how much progress you have made, what are the next best steps are, and how far you have left to go. Now, in sales or business development or customer, this thing, you can have CRM to have a platform to have all this. For execution, it is very simple. It's a project planner, or we call it a Gantt chart or a program, and we follow this program. We adjust the program as per the site condition, and we sit together, the execution team, with the commissioning people, the electricians, technicians, the sales guys together, and we modify it and we adapt to the requirement of the project. So this is where a management platform is there for execution team. We don't really have a software as such. We can have a software as such, but we don't need it because the basics of project management in execution is following your plan and getting your tasks done on a day-to-day basis. From sales team or business development team, if you need a job to be executed, you have to have some prerequisites, some files in your computer that you can pass it to the execution team. The design leads, the light planners like Eric, Rawat, Radek. Prerequisite documentation. So light planners send design file to execution team. Estimation and quantity, this file from the sales team. So this will be with Shazib or Kathy or anyone else who does estimation and quantifications. A material submissions file. So this is also whoever is doing the material submissions with the salespeople, they will have this file. This has to be passed on to the execution team. Drawing submissions file. This is done by Cyril and Madhuswami and whoever.
Who does the communication?
The salesperson who is in charge of the project or who's the face value to the client is the lead who transfers documentation from their team to execution team. Excel sheet of approved materials to be sent to project control, verified by sales team before procurement. This is a new file. Material ordered, delivery status tracking sheet. This will be from project control. They have to give this to execution, but execution should have this as a file. Project control only should give information and they should fill the file. MIR submissions, HSE documentation, gate passes, delivery notes, WIR submission. So MIR is material inspection request, where you submit a documentation for inspection when your material is delivered, and if it is approved, then we get paid. If it is not approved, we are screwed. Okay. WIR is work inspection request. When you have installation, you have this documentation. So this is only for execution team. So we will run behind this and get this approved. Pre-commissioning checklist. This is a document that our commissioning engineers will submit to the site. If this checklist is not fulfilled, we cannot commission. We will not commission. We should not commission. You only need. Yes.
Delivery bill of that type of documents they are already provided.
So, bill of lading, certificate of origin, any quality certificate, ISO, or some test certificate.
Yeah.
Test certificate, the sales team has to collect it from the manufacturer and give. Any shipping documentation or logistic documentation will be provided by project control to the execution team. Okay, but all this is execution team's responsibilities. TNC reports, testing and commissioning reports, is done by our commissioning engineers. They get the reports done. O&M manual is a gray area for us right now because we are a little de-staffed. So everybody's doing O&M manual. But ideally, O&M manual has to be done by my friend, the commissioning engineers. Okay. But what we will do is, I know that you don't want to do it because you're always running around in sites. So what we will do is, we will get a little help in the office going further, and that person will do O&M manual. Training manual is O&M manual with training. That's it. Okay, so these are the examples. So let's say first one is the document that I said that we have just created it yesterday. So this file is created by the execution team. It's called a light fixture or lighting control or whatever it may be. We call it a coordination matrix. What does it have? It has got type, location, proposed brand, description, installation mode, the method, surface, resist, hanging, this thing, product code, LED chip code, driver code, color temperature, beam angle, RAL finish, central battery requirements, lighting control requirements, emergency kit, quantity, remarks. Now, I think it's fairly covers everything to do from material submission to procurement to delivery to MIR. This one table will ensure that your material submittal and your MIR are the same. This file will be given to you to add whatever you want. Okay? But this file will give the person who is the quantity and estimation person, she or he, when they fill it up in the beginning, when it comes to execution, it will change. I want change of color. I want change of this. That time the execution person will change it on this table. But when he makes the change, the old will be there and the new will be there. Okay? In this way, the client knows, the consultant knows, we know, you know, procurement knows, head office knows, like the manufacturing, the whole world knows. This is how a project starts.
When you do a technical submittal, right?
Yeah. No, this is how a project starts. So you remember I said the quantity and estimation file? It will have all these all these details except for price and total price. We remove that unit price and total price column, and then we add these columns. These columns come into play then. During approval stage is when we know that this LED chip code, this driver is submitted, this CCT, this beam angle, this RAL finish, CBS compatibility, is it 24 volt, 48 volt, 220 volt, LCS, is it DALI driver, is it DALI 1, DALI 2, 0 to 10, 1 to 10, phase, Wi-Fi, Kasambi, everything gets filled in this. When the material submittal gets approved, that is when you fill this entire column. Because when it gets approved, he will cut 4000 Kelvin, make it 3000 Kelvin. He will cut 30 degrees, he'll make it 15 degrees. Execution team has to create this file before placing the order. You get it? And the sales team has to be notified of the file. Sounds okay? That is called the coordination matrix. So this is to coordinate between the three departments so that nobody says that you ordered wrong. Okay? Material submission. So this is what you call an MS. Okay, so this is for, I think, Diva. So in this, so right now we are going to talk about a downlight from Signify. So this is the from the specification. As an execution person, we need to have their specification, the compliance. This is a file that is done by our office, which shows the relation. So what is specified and what we are giving. So, and whether we comply, whether we deviate, or whether we are exceeding. Then we have letters from whatever is required. So I'm just showing you a sample. So their specification, our compliance to their specifications, where we're saying so and so. So this is a part of the material submittal. When a consultant sees all this, he will approve. If he doesn't see all this, he will come back with comments saying provide certain things. A material submission should have all these documents. Otherwise, you will not get approval. This will be done. This will be done at the sales level and passed it to execution.
So
Yeah, because
does it have
this is pre-sales activity.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is a document that we need because what we'll be doing is we'll be running for your approvals on site. Okay, so this is a must. The installation manual of the product has to be there in every material submission. Okay. The reason that we encourage all these details to go in the beginning itself is because when it comes to MIR, only delivery note has to be attached. When it comes to O&M, on top of the delivery note, we just have to put the same operation and maintenance manual from the manufacturer. And then finally, the closeout document is the O&M manual. So it's like the same document just gets added one sheet on top, which is much easier than at the time of the O&M manual, we run behind all the documentation. So you guys got what material submissions is. Then an example of an MIR. So this is an MIR and this MIR got rejected. So everything is there. MIR is a document where we sit with the contractor on site. So Grego or Arun or Grego or Arun or the commissioning engineers who is on site will sit with the contractor, will fill all this up. But again, it is our job to get the approval. It is not the salesperson's job. This is a site-related thing, so it's our job. And if we get approval on this document, only then Mr. Shaji can send it to the bank for claiming payment or can prepare, the documents to get payment. So this will have everything, and then it will have the material approval request. This is the MS. This MAR is equal to MS will become the MIR. Okay, so I think that's also very straightforward. Then you have drawing submission. It's got a title block, which is basic, okay, with our logo on it. It's got the whole drawing of the place. It's got the control schedule, the wiring diagrams, the what is what, legends, the LCP panel, section drawing, the wiring drawing. This is what you call is a drawing. Neat. A beautiful drawing, okay? And it's got a Sign Technique logo down here, which also I cannot zoom in. And yeah, it's a seal, yeah? So it's got a Sign Technique seal and it is an approved drawing, okay? So this becomes a drawing submission. Then we have an example of a delivery schedule. This is something that execution team has to prepare and share it with the sales team, because sales team will follow up with the manufacturer, and once the production is done and it is packed, now it is on the way, or maybe it is in the warehouse, or maybe it is in customs. Who should know this? Who should keep track of it? Who should update you? Execution team. So you see here, this is supposed to be with the execution team, and they should give this to the sales team so that whenever the client asks, what is the status of the material? What is my delivery schedule? Sales team can send it to the client. This information, execution team has to follow up with project control, get the information, fill up the Excel sheet, keep it ready always with them for every project. A delivery tracker is the execution team responsibility. And informing the sales team also that, guys, this material is delivered, this is pending. Please follow up with the manufacturer and find out what is the status. Execution team will not follow up with any manufacturer. We will only handle site and site related activities. Site people, site related activities. All these files for each and every project is mandatory. Any one file is missing, that person who did not do their job will be held responsible, because that is how this, how this trade is done. These documentation is what you should have in your computer for each and every project. There is a file which I'm going to share with you guys. This is called the HSE plan. Okay, now this HSE is something that some projects, especially projects like Miral, MR, they will ask you for this. What is your HSE? What is your plan? That time, please come to the execution team. We have a documentation. Just submit that documentation to the site. Okay? Anything to do with HSE, workers' welfare, insurances. That is comprehensive insurances for people, for material, for warehouse. It is either available with the execution team or with Mr. Shaji. You can just, in case your client needs, depending on the client, we'll evaluate and we'll give if it's necessary or not. If JTS comes and asks me for insurance and HSE plan, I'll not give. But if Alamco asks me, I have to give. This is the difference. Okay. Then you have delivery note. This is a delivery note for Monday Majlis. Okay. In this delivery note, I observed something. That's why I put this delivery note. This delivery note is not issued by Signtechnique Project Control. This delivery note is stamped by us, but it is issued by, I don't know who this is.
No, it's from warehouse.
This is warehouse. The reason I wanted to bring delivery note up because the delivery note, delivery note is money. All right. Like I said, Signtechnique first. Delivery note is above Signtechnique. In this line of business, if your delivery note is not signed, it is as good as you lost money. Okay. So remember this, delivery note has to be signed the day material is delivered to site. Not the next day, not after 5 days. Delivery note has to be signed that day itself. If the guy is not signing the delivery note, take the material back. And always remember this, if delivery note gets signed means next day invoice is going. That Mr. Shaji and his team will take care of. Mandatory document. Execution team has to ensure that delivery notes are signed. Daily attendance sheet. This has nothing to do with any of us. This is just like, this is for maintenance. So for all our maintenance jobs, this is an ad hoc. So we have 3 people who none of you have seen. His name is Anup, Kisar and Husker. These 3 guys work with Signtechnique. They're a part of our team.
Whom we are hiring.
Yes. So it is a responsibility of the execution people to ensure that you sign next to their attendance. Only if you sign, they get money. Okay. A very important project organization chart starts from either me or it will start from Augustine. Okay. It is not to do with sales or project management. It is to do with installation when it comes like that. When it comes as a sales kind of aspect, you don't need to give this to any site. Okay. Yeah. So wherever you have installation, we have to give things like project manager and who is doing the procurement and then who is doing quantity surveying, who are our subcontractors, who are other people. So it's like an elaborated chart. Everybody's name and designation has to be given. Pre-commissioning checklist. This is for BIA headquarters done by Yasser. This is a pre-commissioning checklist if you guys wanted to see. So it will have all these details, project, client, this, that, and all that. This is an activity. So check the cable, check this, check that by Signtechnique. Then it has to be done by contractor. Then everybody has to sign. Only after this gets signed, the commissioning engineers will go into testing and commissioning. So just wanted to show you what this file is. The Bible for execution team is this. Okay. I don't want to expand it and everything. It's a simple Gantt chart. It shows this is what do you call project planning. Going forward, I would like to see for every project the same file. Every project, supply and installation, supply and testing and commissioning. Execution team must have a person who does this. I do this online. Okay. You can also do it. Anybody can do it. It's very easy. You just have to put start date, finish date, and then you have to highlight what is the critical part. You have to show where is the problem. Is the delivery time low? Critical part. Is the client asking for too many, new things? It is bonus plus critical part where we can make money. You can actually get how much manpower, how much cost, how much is your project. You can get everything. But I use a basic one. But please, going forward, execution team, everybody in execution team has to have this. And this chart should be approved by James and myself. It has to be, because we need to know what has been committed in the project and what is on the purchase order and what Mr. Shaji is saying. Is it going to meet this entire chart? There are many projects which require CVs. Okay. This is a very one-page CV. We had submitted for many projects like this, depending on what the task is. They need the person who is procuring. So we gave Mr. Shaji's CV. They need to see who is the one heading the team. We gave Samar's CV. Sometime in SeaWorld, we had given Rabia. We gave the whole team CV. Okay. But many projects require to know who is handling their project. Please have all of you, everybody has to have a one-page CV. What they want to know is the work experience and what I'm doing and my skills and competencies. Okay. So please have one-page CVs with you ready at any point of time in the server, because at any point, anybody's CV will go into the project. Okay. Commissioning report. This is something that is a commission. So it's just a piece of paper from Sign Technique. Has this, people fill it. Krishna prepared this. So they just put all this. This is for, again, execution team. But normally all these things are money. Okay. So if a salesperson, like Monday Majlis, if you don't have a commissioning report, you will not get paid. So you will have to know this is the document. You have to get Krishna to get this. Yeah. Testing and commissioning work completion report. This is an engineer site report from Sign Technique. This also is money, right? This also is money, 10%. So please remember everything that I said money, note it down. Note it down, because that is the only thing that you guys need to keep track of. Wherever I said money, keep track of it. Otherwise, company will come after you. Installation work completion report. Lighting control system installation work completed. This is for one hospitality project. So you have things like this. Someone will sign off saying from MVP and client side, yes, system installation is good. Work is completed. So this also is money. Okay. So remember that without the execution team, you will not get your money. Okay. So please chase them, follow up with them. They will always have all this with them and they will have a time for it to get it done. But please remember, these documentations are important. Please pay attention to this one file. It's called a deployment schedule. Now, in projects where you have, which are massive, like Deva, Expo, Warner Brothers, SeaWorld. So this is a deployment schedule. So vice president, head of ops, head of sales, sales manager, lighting controls manager, then all the other people. So what it says is, between December 2020 up to December 2022, how are these people deployed to site? When it says 0.25, means in the month of December, 0.25 times 30 days, he will go to site. So when Samar is going, I'm not going. When I'm going, he's not going. This is how we should work. If Yasser is going, Augustine should not go. If Augustine is going, Yasser should not. If you're doing a site meeting, if execution team, say Abu Dhabi, okay, if Nasser has to go 0.25 times, then your subordinate or your execution team, let me say Faisal or say Augustine, depending on who is, should not go every time you go. Then we are spending 3 times money for one site meeting with only one person who is getting action and doing action. 3 people are not doing any action, no. The point is, this is to minimize cost of person for the company. If we can prepare this for each and every project, we will not be deploying. Now, the problem is, I'm showing so much of paperwork. Everybody's wondering, like, who has to prepare this? Who has to do that? Execution team has to do this. This is all execution documentation. We have to prepare deployment. We have to share it with the salesperson. Please come only for the site meetings. Don't come for taking approval for material submissions. You get it? This is how we should work with the sales team to ensure no double pay is going into the project. Okay? So is this clear?
Yeah.
So these are all draftsmen, BIM personnel. Let's see, where's commissioning people? Testing and commissioning team. Okay, starts with, you do not need to go to site until September. You don't need to be there in the beginning. You don't need to be there in the middle. They need to come only when the wiring starts. Please remember, execution team will not send any more testing and commissioning engineers to site to supervise every wiring. Last slide. So, please, execution team, please make sure you have this list. This is a tools list. Okay, I'm sure Timothy knows what this is. So, I mean, we don't need bus, minibus, 3-ton pickup and 1-ton pickup. How much we are using to a project per day. We need to note this down. All this paperwork I have, we just need to start doing it. Okay. If we have drill machines, if we have grinders, if we have tools, soldering tool, cable drums, cable pulleys. So just a tools list. Okay. It's very straightforward. We need to break ahead on this. Yes, this is for everybody. HSE risk assessment. Now, we do this for ADNOC, SeaWorld, and DEWA. We're doing this. Whichever project you people have where you need risk assessment, please contact us. We'll give you a file like this, which starts from personal injury, housekeeping, scaffolding, ladder, all these kind of things. So we have all documentations like this. Quality plan. This is something that sometimes we need to submit. So this is a project quality plan. So this has something, it's a QHSE policy signed by ESA. And then we have our team, our objectives, what will be done, what resources will be there, who will be responsible, when it will be completed, subcontractors, their roles, their responsibilities. Then this is only when installation works are there. So we have our internal quality plan, which I discuss with Augustine or Arun, and then we do it. So most important is this. When you have a WIR, Timothy, you request for a work inspection, you have an internal inspection, you request the general contractor, you attach the approved drawing, you have a client inspection, and then you have the approval. It's like a standard WIR process. Approved with comments, rejected, approved. And then what happens after that? So these are all part of this thing. I don't need to show all the ISO documentation because you know that we are ISO certified from 9,000, 14,000, 18,000. So we are great like that. Daily activity report. This is something that only my friend Grego will prepare every day and send it to me without me asking for it. Now, you know what's the beauty of this? I don't need to ask him what he did. All these are done. So he says activities, status, timing. Sometimes I wonder, like, why do you put timing? Are you telling me that you're working more? Okay. But the thing is, he's actually doing it because he's working with a contractor who's time logging. Right? When that guy says that, no, Gregor was not here, Gregor was not there, we know it. He was there. Guys, I want you to see this file very closely. All execution people as well as sales people. This is a fault analysis file which is developed by Arun. I think that this is one of the greatest things that I have seen so far in execution, because this shows a picture, the time, the date, the description, what the problem is, like what the problem is, and you know what happened. And this Arun does on his phone in a software. So what happens is, this becomes a report, fault analysis report, and we send it to the contractor. We don't need to have a meeting. In one email, so every day he was doing this. So then what happened? There was least requirement of us going and telling the contractor, go fix this, go fix it. We will just give him the identity, the address and everything, and then we'll tell him that fix it.